Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, details leading up to the 2016 presidential election, just 1 week away. Citrus TV News speaks with students and looks into the new FBI-related probes of both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
When these two buses collided, our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims, loved ones, their co-workers, their...
And a bus crash in Baltimore leaves several dead and more in the hospital. We'll have the details on how it happened coming up.
And Bill Cosby is back in court today as his pretrial begins, but he faces just a few charges despite the many women accusing him of sexual assault. We've got the details on what you can expect in his full trial. Citrus TV News starts right now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Citrus TV News Live at 6. We are just 1 week away from Election Day and ballots have already been cast across central New York. I'm Jamie Weiss.
And I'm Rob Romano, but some people have decided to sit this election out. That's our top story tonight.
We're 1 week from Election Day, and many people have already voted, including students voting with absentee ballots. Citrus TV's Nick Papatonis was on the promenade today talking to people who are sitting this process out.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are locked in an increasingly tight election battle. This is happening as millions of Americans are casting early ballots, including many Syracuse students required to vote absentee.
I think we just need to fulfill our duties as citizens to vote, because I think, it's a privilege that not everyone has.
While the Democratic and Republican bases are expected to show up in usual numbers, some independent or moderate voters are being turned off.
A lot of times, especially now, you hear us saying vote for the lesser of two evils, with Hillary and Donald, but how far are we supposed to take the lesser two evils?
Election officials say don't let the presidential race keep you from electing local politicians and judges. Still, some have other reasons for staying away from the polls.
I'm not voting because half of my life I spent abroad, and so I just don't think that I've lived in the States for long enough for me to experience the actual effects of any political policy changes.
New York residents have until November 7th to file for an absentee ballot. However, those must be mailed back to your election office by Election Day. Reporting for Citrus TV News, I'm Nick Papantonis.
And Citrus TV will have full coverage of all of the important races on November 8th. The Election Night Special will start at 8:30 on OTN.
And the Military Times reports Syracuse University is the #1 private school for veterans and their families. The rankings came out today. The new report also has SU at #3 overall in the ranks. Chancellor Kent Syverud said, quote, "Today is a proud day for Syracuse University. Part of his initiative in the campus framework is to expand SU's presence for military families and vets, with plans for a National Veterans Resource Complex in the works."
The Sports Management Club announced the date for its 12th annual charity auction. It's slated for December 10th in the back court of the Carrier Dome. The funds raised from the event will go to the McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center in Onondaga County. In the last decade, the club has raised more than $300,000 for local charities.
And looking to enter a different music scene on campus, students will perform a popular Indian style of opera tonight. A visiting professor from California State University has been teaching the students the Nautanki style plays. They'll perform tonight at 8 p.m. in Setner Auditorium.
Amber Rose is making a visit to campus. She'll speak at the annual Women of Distinction event tomorrow in Goldstein Auditorium. The Pi Beta Sigma fraternity will be hosting the event. Rose is known for her body and sexual positivity. She will also be asking the SU community members to participate in a, quote, slut walk, which is a walk that advocates for women's rights and against victim blaming.
And police are investigating the cause of a Halloween night crash that killed a woman in Clay. Police say the accident happened just before 11 p.m. when a woman crossed into oncoming traffic and hit a box truck head-on. Emergency responders rushed the woman to the hospital, where she was pronounced dead. The driver of the box truck was treated for minor injuries. The name of the woman killed has not yet been released.
New today, police have caught the man they say approached North Syracuse students at a bus stop. They arrested 29-year-old Michael Trodo of Clay. He's been charged with harassing and endangering a child. Police said the incident happened on October 25th when a 15-year-old girl said she was walking to the bus stop and a man in a car stopped her and asked her to get in. Police were investigating 3 similar incidents at the time.
And a federal inspection unveiled some concerning practices at an Auburn hospital. The inspection says staff at Auburn Community Hospital didn't wash their hands, and some gave injections in the operating room without gloves. Inspectors observed the practices in an April inspection, but the report came out today.
And there's a new initiative to help reduce car accidents on New York highways. Governor Andrew Cuomo announced the more than $28 million initiative today. The money will go to 550 programs throughout the state to improve highway safety and reduce the number of deaths and injuries caused in car crashes. The initiative will help police to target dangerous driving behavior and will sponsor child passenger safety education.
And an upstate New York college became a picture-perfect setting today, or rather a movie-perfect setting. That's because a part of Russell Sage College became a set for James Franco's new movie, The Pretenders. After filming wraps up, Union College is expecting the actor and crew to film there in Schenectady.
Coming up, we'll give you the latest on Hillary Clinton's emails.
And more on the progress of Iraqi forces in Mosul. Don't go anywhere.
And it's currently sitting in the low 60s right now in the quad. Unseasonably warm temperatures will continue into tomorrow, but that won't continue. Stay with us to see when you're going to need to break out that parka. We'll be right back.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive? How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
You want to step
Make
out
sure
of the
to
vehicle
push
for
your
me?
thing up.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
Great
So it
block,
turns out
everyone.
Buzz
Great.
driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Got a quarter?
That's what it looked like. You're seeing people being removed from vehicles.
That was the man who witnessed a bus crash that killed 6 in Baltimore this morning.
Police say the school bus hit a car before colliding with a city bus. The school bus driver died, as did 5 people on the city bus.
No children were on the school bus. Police described the scene as looking, quote, like a bomb exploded on the bus.
A spokesperson for Baltimore PD called the accident tragic and offered his condolences.
Several people were killed this morning when these 2 buses collided. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims, loved ones, their co-workers, their obviously folks who are on a bus this time of the morning are working folks, and they're on their way to make a living, they're on their way to their jobs, and they're on their way to support their families. So our hearts and prayers go out to them, to their families, to their co-workers.
And the FBI says they are unlikely to finish their investigation into new emails potentially related to Hillary Clinton by next week's elections.
That's right, Rob. The announcement that new emails had been discovered in relation to her use of a private email server came on Friday.
Officials have been meeting and debating since the announcement on whether there is any room to add clarity about the situation without further harming it.
Investigators are also expected to spend time coordinating with other federal agencies to see if any emails contain classified information. And there is no proof of financial connections or relationships between Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. This announcement from the FBI came today.
It comes after Russia hacked the DNC, which intelligence officials say was meant to disrupt the election entirely and not to help the Republican candidate's campaign.
Trump has recently said his past praise on Putin's leadership skills were, quote, sarcastic.
And the FBI will continue to investigate Russia's potential involvement in both the elections and the new emails.
New details on how presidential candidate Donald Trump may have been avoiding paying federal taxes for decades. The New York Times breaks down how he did it in a report published yesterday.
It shows how though Donald Trump used more than $900 million businesses operating loss to avoid paying taxes, this practice isn't necessarily legal.
The reports showed that his loss of Atlantic City casinos, which were technically paid for by investors and loans, experts quoted in the article say Trump may have, quote, deducted somebody else's losses.
And a strike in downtown Philadelphia may keep people from voting next week.
The deal was shot down between workers at the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, or SEPTA, and a transit agency.
As a result, SEPTA buses, trolleys, and subway lines in that area will remain down. The regional rail will be the only public transportation operating in the area. 5,000
union members are on strike, and SEPTA provides over 900,000 rides a day. Former GOP candidate John Kasich is sticking to his word and has not voted for Donald Trump.
The Ohio governor voted yesterday via absentee ballot and cast his presidential vote for former GOP nominee and Arizona Senator John McCain.
Kasich's vote is symbolic, but will not count because McCain is not on the list of approved write-in candidates from the Ohio's election committee.
Kasich was the last candidate to drop out of the race for the GOP nomination and was seen as a rebel in his decision to not endorse Donald Trump.
And the NAACP filed a lawsuit against North Carolina's State Board of Elections on Monday after accusing state officials from 3 counties of canceling thousands of voter registrations.
Lawyers say the boards in Moore, Beaufort, and Cumberland counties violated the National Voter Registration Act by systematically canceling around 4,500 registrations within 90 days of the election.
The alleged reasons for the mass cancellations are changes in residency or failure for mass mailings to be delivered, though the majority of people who had their registration canceled have not moved in the past 5 years.
North Carolina's State Board of Elections is accused of disproportionately targeting African American voters in the 3 counties.
My name is Islamic Soldier, okay?
The Bill Cosby pretrial starts today, and he was in court in Pennsylvania for 3 counts of aggravated sexual assault in connection to a 2004 encounter with a former Temple University employee.
The pretrial is expected to last 2 days. Today's pretrial focused on what evidence will be used, though his actual trial isn't expected to take place for another 8 months. And the death toll from Monday's Chinese coal mine explosion rose to 13 today, lowering from the 15 that was previously reported.
Over 400 people are working to rescue the other 20 miners who are trapped. The status of those miners is still unknown.
The search is being hindered by massive debris blocking the mine passageways.
Local officials have temporarily closed mines with smaller production numbers.
And Iraqi forces are the closest they've been to Mosul since they began their operation to retake the city 2 weeks ago.
That's right. Forces battled in an eastern suburb of Mosul yesterday and are now just hundreds of meters away. They're expected to enter Mosul as soon as possible.
Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi told 3,000 to 5,000 militants inside of Mosul to, quote, either surrender or die.
And South Korea is in the news today as a close friend of the president has been detained in relation to interfering with state affairs.
Choi Soon-sil, a longtime friend of the Chinese president, has been accused of embezzling money and pressuring companies to donate to foundations that she directly benefits from.
South Korean officials placed Ms. Choi under emergency detention in fear that she might destroy evidence. Rob, it's November 1st, and I think I may have changed my outfit at least 3 different times today. What's going on with this weather?
It's all right, Jamie. At least we still match. Nicole Dementri has the lowdown for us with the weather. Nicole?
Yeah, Rob and Jamie, I am glad you guys still match, but you must have changed your outfit a couple times this morning. If you woke up around 9 a.m., it was around 40 degrees. It got all the way up to 60 today, and now we're sitting at 57 degrees. The only place that's in the low 60s right now is Rochester. Everywhere else is in the mid to upper 50s. What are we looking at tonight, though? We're looking at a pretty clear radar. We might see a slight shower here or there. You really won't have to worry about that. Probably the only chance we have is tomorrow around 4 p.m. And again, that's very slight. It may just completely miss us in general. But this evening forecast, it's going to start off pretty cloudy. It's going to turn partly cloudy around midnight. It's going to be very windy, though. South, 13 miles per hour. You're going to get those gusts of winds, especially since the sun is already set, since we're not in fallback time yet. But Wednesday forecast, 9 a.m., it's going to be 54 degrees. And it's going to go all the way up to around the mid-50s upper. And now we go to the game day forecast. Now, when is game day? 5:30 Saturday night. If you're here in Syracuse, it's going to be 45 degrees, 20% chance of precipitation. It's going to be pretty windy once again. That's why we're going to see those fall leaves just swirl around outside. Now, if you're lucky enough to go down to Clemson, it's going to be 69, beautiful, and sunny. So really hope that you get to go down to Clemson for that game. Now, the 5-day forecast, what are we looking at? Tomorrow, 60 degrees. Thursday, we're looking at 55 degrees. Friday, 40 degrees. Thursday, going back to that for a second, it's going to rain all day, much like it did last Thursday. It's going to be about a half-inch rain. Saturday, you're going to jump ahead with time. It's going to be 49, and then Sunday, 43 degrees. So it's going to be a pretty nice weekend.
Well, Nicole, I'm looking forward to having a great weekend, but you know what I'm going to ask you. When are we going to see that snow?
So we're actually seeing unseasonably warm temperatures right now, but we're going to start seeing the snow, especially because pockets of air are going to come in from Canada, move over the lakes. We're going to start seeing that snow around Thanksgiving, so we won't be here, but when we come back, we're going to see some lake effect snow. So not just regular snow, some heavy-duty stuff.
That sounds pretty intense. Thanks so much, Nicole.
Yeah, thank you.
And after the break, we'll tell you about Google's latest technology.
And President Obama is letting go of his Twitter account after the election. What that means for the next president, coming up on Citrus TV News.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
A Washington mother of 3 was charged and put in jail after being accused of giving her children heroin to make them go to sleep. Ashley Hutt, the mother, would choke the children and inject them with, quote, feel-good medicine before bed. The 3 children were removed by Child Protective Services and found the heroin needles and rat droppings in the house. Both Hutt and her boyfriend have been charged, and their bails have been set to $100,000. On Friday, Wells Fargo agreed to pay $50 million in a settlement. The bank is accused of marking up appraisals that were charged to a lost 25,000 customers that defaulted on mortgage loans. The settlement still awaits the approval, and Wells Fargo faces separate legal issues regarding the alleged creation of millions of fake accounts.
And President Obama will not keep the POTUS Twitter account when he leaves office. Obama was the first president to use the social media account and drew 11.1 million followers. When the next president takes over the Twitter account, all of the previous tweets from Obama will be wiped clean. These tweets will be moved to Obama's new account, POTUS 44. Similar changes will occur with his Facebook page and Instagram account. And I may not be one of the 7 dwarves, but I'm feeling pretty happy about this. Disney is announcing they will be producing a live-action version of the story Snow White. Other live-action movies in production include Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, and Aladdin. The studio has already released live-action films like Maleficent and The Jungle Book, each earning over $200 million domestically, according to box office reports.
And Syracuse basketball finally returns. Orange teams move up in several rankings, and an NBA legend retires. All this and more coming up.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Don't think you know. Know you know.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
The number 19 ranked Orange will open up their season tonight with an exhibition game against the Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Indiana University of Pennsylvania is a Division II program with a lot of success. They lost in the Division II championship game in 2010 and 2015. This will be the first of 2 exhibition games for the Orange before their season opener against Colgate on Friday, November 11th. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. at the Carrier Dome. And the women's basketball preseason AP poll was released today, and the Orange are ranked number 14. This matches the highest the program has been ranked in the AP poll. The Orange are coming off a season where they shocked the world and reached the national championship game, losing to UConn. The Orange opened their season on Friday, November 11th at 3 p.m. at the Carrier Dome against the Rhode Island Rams. And after claiming their 5th straight conference championship, the Syracuse men's cross-country team moves up to the number 5 in this week's coaches poll. Northern Arizona is currently the unanimous number 1 team in the country, and the Orange will be back in action on November 11th when they participate in the NCAA Northeast Regional. And the ACC tournament begins this week for Syracuse field hockey, and the team will go into the tournament ranked number 2 nationally. The Orange finished the year 14-2 and received 1 first-place vote. ACC rival Duke is ranked number 1, receiving 37 first-place votes. The Orange's first ACC tournament game is Thursday at 1:30 p.m. against number 19 Wake Forest. And more good news for Syracuse sports. Men's soccer player Kamal Miller received the ACC Men's Defensive Player of the Week award. This is the first Conference Player of the Week award for Miller and the first for any Orange member this season. Miller had a great defensive game against number 2 Wake Forest last Friday in their regular season finale. The Orange will play their first ACC tournament game tomorrow against Pitt at 7 p.m. at the SU Soccer Stadium. And after a blowout loss to the New England Patriots on Sunday, Buffalo Bills fans have something to cheer about today. Wide receiver Percy Harvin announced he is unretiring and signing with the Buffalo Bills. Percy Harvin played for the Bills in 2015, playing in just 5 games. Percy Harvin has battled with injuries his entire career and has not played in a full season since 2011. And speaking of retirement, NBA legend Ray Allen officially announced his retirement earlier today. Allen played 18 seasons in the NBA with the Bucks, Sonics, Celtics, and Heat. He won a championship in 2008 with the Celtics and the Heat in 2013, including his memorable Game 6 shot against the Spurs to send that game into overtime. And the Fall Classic continues tonight in Cleveland as the Indians host the Chicago Cubs for Game 6 of the World Series tonight at 8 p.m. Tonight's pitchers are Jake Arrieta for the Cubs and Josh Tomlin for the Indians. The Indians lead the series 3-2, but momentum is with the Cubs, who not only won Game 5, but are able to play Game 6 with World Series sensation Kyle Schwarber in the lineup. Jake Arrieta pitched great in Game 2, guided the Cubs to a 5-1 victory, and took a no-hitter into the 6th inning the last time he was on. And Western Michigan football travels to Indiana tonight to take on Ball State and protect their undefeated record. The Broncos are 8-0 and ranked number 17 in the nation, the highest of any non-Power 5 school. The game is huge for the Broncos' possibility of playing in a New Year's Day bowl game. The Broncos have wins this season against Big Ten schools such as Illinois and Northwestern. Western Michigan has 4 regular season games remaining and most likely needs to win out to play in a major bowl game.
Okay, Eric. Let's talk World Series. We have Jake Arrieta on the mound. Got this Game 6 going. Do you think they're going to force a Game 7, the Cubs?
I do think they're going to force a Game 7, and I also think the Cubs will take the World Series. Kyle Schwarber, him being in the lineup is so key for the Cubs, and also the fact that Jake Arrieta is on the mound, that really helps out the Cubs.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you.
And after the break, the visitor that Obama met on Halloween.
And Nicole Dementry will be back for one last look at your weather. Stay with us.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Okay, welcome back to Citrus TV News. We are joined once again with Nicole Dementry with more on the weather. Nicole, what can we expect when we wake up tomorrow?
So when you wake up tomorrow, it'll be in the mid to upper 50s, going all the way up to 60 degrees tomorrow, another unseasonably warm day, but tomorrow night dropping down to 50 degrees. You'll see a slight chance of a shower here or there, so definitely layer up once again tomorrow.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Nicole.
Thanks, Nicole.
So yesterday, thousands of children across the country celebrated Halloween by dressing up and trick-or-treating. But this kid's costume may have been the lamest.
That's right, Jamie. President Obama welcomed trick-or-treaters to the White House when he met a child dressed as a lame duck. Could you believe it?
That may have been the most creative costume I've ever seen. I don't know about you. What did you dress up for Halloween yesterday, Rob?
I was actually a hockey player, believe it or not. I'm kind of hoping for the snow a little bit. I kind of enjoy the cold. I'm the only one saying that, but it's true.
Yeah, you are the only one. I don't want the snow to come anytime soon. I enjoyed today's 60-degree weather, and I hope we can keep it for a little bit longer. But that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching Citrus TV News Live at 6. I'm Jamie Weiss.
And I'm Rob Romano. Have a good night, Syracuse. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching.